Why self-control is the strongest form of freedom? Story time. Imagine a blacksmith's shop. The air is thick with smoke. Sparks leap like fireflies, and a man with a hammer stands before the anvil. But before he strikes the iron, he pauses. He looks at the glowing metal and decides, will this become a knife, a hatchet, an axe? Now imagine your soul on that anvil. Your choices, your habits, your prayers, all being shaped by what you decide first in your mind. Because, as Abba Antonie said, the one who beats the iron first judges with his mind what he will make. So must we judge which good deed we plan to do, lest we wear ourselves for nothing. We live in a world of constant motion. Everyone's hammering, few are thinking. We run from one project to another, one cause to another, one emotion to another. But what if all this effort is just noise on the anvil? Abba Antonie wasn't talking about laziness. He was talking about discernment, about pausing long enough to ask, is this blow worth the fire it costs me? Discernment is the art of aligning your will with God's will before you strike. That's what makes effort holy. Without it, even fasting, even prayer, can become vanity. Do not wear yourself for nothing, says the saint, because holiness isn't about exhaustion, it's about intention. And then comes that line, short, sharp, unforgettable. Submission with restraint defeats the beast. What beast? The same one that prowls through your thoughts when you are tired, angry, proud, or afraid. The beast is not outside you, it's inside. The ego that refuses to bow. The passion that says, I know better. Submission means bending the knee. Restraint means not letting your impulse rule the day. Together they tame the beast. But submission sounds weak to the modern ear. We've been taught to fight, to conquer, to assert. We confuse rebellion with freedom. Yet ask anyone who's ever shouted their way through a marriage, a friendship, or a job, and they will tell you, pride always promises power and always delivers emptiness. Submission with restraint isn't slavery. It's strength under control. It's the discipline that wins spiritual wars without drawing blood. A young man once told me, Father, I keep losing my peace. I want to follow Christ, but my temper rules me. I told him, when the beast rises, don't wrestle it, starve it. He laughed. How do you starve anger? By refusing to feed it with your tongue. He came back weeks later, smiling. I kept silence. It hurt, but I won. That's what submission with restraints looks like. Not silence out of fear, but silence out of mastery. In the Patericon, a brother came to Abba Antonie, tormented by evil thoughts. Father, what shall I do? My mind is a beast. And Pimen said, don't fight the beast in its den. Light a candle instead. What candle? What candle? Asked the brother. The remembrance of God, said the elder. He obeyed, not perfectly, but persistently. And over time, the beast quieted. Because restraint isn't repression, it's redirection. In the Psalms, those same Psalms, Linda Mary reads as she prays, David sings, Set a guard, O Lord, over my mouth. Keep watch over the door of my lips. He doesn't say, let me win every argument. He says, guard me, guard me. There is beauty in restraint. The Orthodox way doesn't destroy passions. It transfigures them. Fire becomes light, strength becomes service, emotion becomes prayer. But Anthony warned of something more dangerous than passion: self-reliance. He said, I have seen monks who labored much and then fell, and even lost their minds because they trusted in their own work and did not understand the commandment. Ask your father, and he will tell you. Deuteronomy from the Old Testament, chapter 32. That's the main point twist. Effort without obedience leads to madness. Spiritual burnout begins when we mistake our effort for grace. Look around today. How many people are collapsing under the weight of their own self-improvement? Meditation apps, diets, self-help, constant productivity. Everyone's working on themselves, yet no one asks for direction. We have monks without monasteries, students without teachers, souls without fathers. Saint Anthony says, ask your father. In Orthodox life, that means seek guidance. Submission to a spiritual father isn't weakness, it's protection from delusion. There is a story about a hermit who prayed with great zeal, saying, Lord, show me the measure of my holiness. And God allowed a vision. The hermit saw a cobbler in the city, cheerful, humble, praying quietly as he worked. That man, said the Lord, is greater than you. The hermit left his cave and went to learn from the cobbler. When he asked the man what his secret was, the cobbler said, I thank God that I can serve others and not be known. The hermit wept. He had trusted his effort, not his humility. Abba Antonie adds one more command. If possible, let every step and every drop of water be confessed to the elders with courage, so that you may not err through them. Every step, every drop, that's the rhythm of humility. Confession is not shame, it's alignment. It's keeping your compass true. We confess not because God doesn't know, but because we forget what direction we're walking in. Discernment is not about overthinking. It's about clarity before motion. The world says, follow your heart. The fathers say, judge your heart first. Submission doesn't kill your freedom. It protects it. Because without restraint, freedom devours itself. Let's return to that forge. The blacksmith strikes again. But now, he knows what he's shaping. Every blow has meaning. Every spark sings of purpose. Your soul is the same. The hammer is your will. The fire is your trial. But the design, that's God's. When you strike with discernment, submit with restraint, and confess with courage, you don't just survive the heat, you shine through it. The beast doesn't vanish. It bows. It bows. In the end, the wisdom of the desert meets the gospel of Christ. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Matthew chapter 5. Meekness is not weakness. It's controlled strength. And Saint Paul echoes, I discipline my body and bring it into subjection, lest after preaching to others, I myself should be disqualified. This is the same fire, the same forge. The modern saint is not the loudest voice, but the quiet craftsman of his own soul. Submission with restraint, that's how you defeat the beast. Shape the blade and reflect the image of God. So before you strike in speech, in work, in love, in faith, stop for a moment. Ask, what am I shaping right now? Because even the smallest blow can forge something eternal. See you next time. Peace.